In the deep heart of the Transylvanian woods, where shadows danced to an eerie melody, there stood a mansion cloaked in darkness. Its walls whispered tales of ancient horrors, and its corridors echoed with the lament of lost souls. This was the dwelling of the vilest creatures known to men, vampires. Among these creatures of the night, none were as feared or as reviled as the infamous Count Vladislaus Dracul. With eyes as red as blood and a gaze that could pierce the soul, he ruled over his dominion of darkness with a cruel and iron fist. His castle, Castle Dracul, loomed over the countryside like a sinister specter, casting its long shadow over the land. On a stormy night, when the howling winds and crashing thunder drowned out the cries of the innocent, a lone traveler stumbled upon Castle Dracul seeking refuge from the tempest. His name was Jonathan Harker, a young solicitor from England, unaware of the horrors that awaited him within those cursed walls. As he crossed the threshold into the castle, a chill ran down Jonathan's spine, and he felt a sense of foreboding wash over him. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the flickering torches cast grotesque shadows upon the walls. Count Dracul greeted him with a sinister smile, his fangs glinting in the dim light. "Welcome, Mr. Harker," the Count said, his voice dripping with malice. "I trust your journey was not too arduous." Jonathan nodded, trying to conceal his growing unease. "Thank you, Count. Your hospitality is most gracious," but the Count's hospitality was anything but benign. As the days passed, Jonathan became increasingly aware of the true nature of his host. Count Dracul never slept, never ate, and never ventured out into the light of day. His pale complexion and aversion to mirrors only fueled Jonathan's suspicions. One night, as Jonathan lay in his chamber, unable to shake the feeling of dread that hung over him like a shroud, he heard a soft whispering outside his door. Peering out into the hallway, he saw the Count's sinister figure gliding towards him, his eyes glowing with an unholy light. "Come, Mr. Harker," the Count hissed, his voice sending shivers down Jonathan's spine. "There is something I wish to show you." Against his better judgment, Jonathan followed the Count through the winding corridors of the castle, deeper and deeper into the heart of darkness. Finally, they reached a hidden chamber concealed behind a tapestry, its walls adorned with macabre symbols and ancient runes. "What is this place?" Jonathan asked, his voice trembling with fear. "This," the Count replied, his voice dripping with malice, "is where I keep my most prized possessions." With a flourish of his cape, the Count revealed rows upon rows of coffins, each containing a slumbering figure shrouded in darkness. Jonathan recoiled in horror as he realized the truth. These were not coffins, but the resting places of the Count's victims, drained of their lifeblood by his insatiable thirst. But before Jonathan could react, he felt a sharp pain in his neck, and everything went black. When he awoke, he found himself lying in one of the coffins, his body weak and drained of strength. The Count stood over him, a triumphant smile playing upon his lips. "Welcome to immortality, Mr. Harker," the Count said, his voice echoing with wicked glee. "You are now one of us." As Jonathan struggled to come to terms with his new existence, he realized the true horror of his situation. Trapped in the clutches of the undead, he was doomed to walk the earth for all eternity, a slave to his insatiable thirst for blood. But even as he grappled with his newfound identity, Jonathan vowed to fight against the darkness that threatened to consume him. For somewhere out there, in the world beyond Castle Dracul, he knew that there were others like him, innocent souls who had fallen victim to the Count's wicked machinations. And so, with newfound resolve, Jonathan Harker set out into the night, his heart filled with both fear and determination. For he knew that the battle against evil had only just begun, and that the fate of countless souls hung in the balance. As the winds howled and the thunder rumbled overhead, Jonathan disappeared into the darkness, his fate intertwined with that of the vile Count Dracula and his legion of vampires. And though the night was long and fraught with peril, one thing was certain: their story was far from over. Jonathan Harker's journey through the twisted realms of the undead took him to far-reaching corners of the world. Every step led him deeper into the heart of the vampire underworld, where ancient conspiracies and unspeakable horrors awaited. As he navigated the shadows, he encountered others like himself, those who had unwillingly become creatures of the night. Together, they formed an unlikely alliance against the darkness that sought to engulf them. Their quest led them to delve into forbidden tomes, seeking ancient knowledge that could unveil the secrets of their cursed existence. Along the way, they discovered whispers of a prophecy, a cryptic verse that hinted at a way to break the vampire curse and free their tormented souls. Yet, as they ventured into the darkest recesses of forgotten tombs and haunted catacombs, a malevolent force lurked in the shadows. Count Dracula, ever watchful and fueled by an insatiable thirst for power, sensed the growing rebellion among his own kind. Unbeknownst to the fledgling vampire resistance, the Count devised a sinister plan to crush their hopes and tighten his grip on the supernatural realm. Rumors spread of a mystical artifact, the Heart of Nocturne, an ancient relic said to grant unimaginable power to any vampire who possessed it. Jonathan and his companions learned of its existence and understood that it held the key to breaking the curse. The race for the Heart of Nocturne began, a perilous journey that led them through haunted forests, desolate wastelands, and forgotten crypts. As Jonathan and his allies closed in on the elusive artifact, they encountered challenges that tested the limits of their newfound abilities. The vampire resistance faced not only the relentless pursuit of Count Dracula, but also other malevolent forces determined to claim the Heart of Nocturne for themselves. Amidst the growing tension, Jonathan discovered a surprising ally, vampire named Elena, who had once been entwined in the dark machinations of Count Dracula. Haunted by her own tragic past, Elena sought redemption and joined the resistance in their quest to thwart the Count's plans. Together, they faced treacherous landscapes, ancient curses, and unspeakable horrors. As the vampire resistance neared the Heart of Nocturne, they couldn't shake the feeling that the artifact held a deeper, more ominous secret, one that could either save their kind or unleash an even greater darkness upon the world. Meanwhile, back at Castle Dracula, the Count's obsession with the prophecy intensified. He delved into forbidden rituals, sacrificing the innocent in his pursuit of ultimate power. Unbeknownst to him, a shadowy figure watched from the sidelines, manipulating events to serve a hidden agenda. The fate of Jonathan Harker, the vampire resistance, and the world at large hung in the balance as they approached the final confrontation. The Heart of Nocturne awaited, a beacon of hope or a harbinger of doom, its true nature concealed in the shadows of a world where evil and redemption intertwined in a dance as old as time itself. The stage was set for a climactic showdown, one that would determine the destiny of vampires and humans alike, and whether the curse that bound them would endure or crumble into oblivion. As Jonathan Harker and the vampire resistance reached the long-lost chamber containing the Heart of Nocturne, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. The artifact, an ethereal jewel pulsating with an otherworldly glow, seemed to hold the promise of salvation. However, as they reached out to claim it, the ancient magic within the heart unleashed a malevolent force that engulfed the chamber in darkness. Count Dracula, aware of their every move, arrived at the scene just as the ancient magic began to twist and contort reality. A demonic laughter echoed through the chamber as the Count reveled in the chaos. The Heart of Nocturne, it seemed, was not a source of redemption but a catalyst for unimaginable destruction. As the darkness intensified, The members of the vampire resistance found themselves ensnared in a nightmarish dimension. Their hopes shattered, and an ancient prophecy revealed itself to be a cruel trick. A puppetry of fate manipulated by unseen hands. The alliance that had once stood against the Count now crumbled. Each member consumed by the malevolent force unleashed by the heart of Nocturne. Jonathan Harker, trapped in the eternal void, watched helplessly as his allies succumbed to madness and despair. Count Dracula, now wielding the amplified power of the artifact, reveled in his triumph. The once fledgling resistance had unwittingly played into his hands, sealing their own doom. The shadows of Castle Dracula expanded, casting a suffocating darkness over the land. The malevolent force spread like a plague, corrupting both vampires and humans alike. The curse that bound them grew stronger, and the world plunged into an era of perpetual night. As the heart of Nocturne pulsed with unholy energy, Count Dracula ascended to an unparalleled level of power. His malevolence knew no bounds, as he claimed dominion over the twisted realm created by the artifact. The vampire resistance, now nothing more than tortured souls lost in the abyss, served as a haunting reminder of the futility of their struggle. The tale of Jonathan Harker and his ill-fated allies became a cautionary legend, whispered in hushed tones among those who dared to speak of the accursed Castle Dracula. The world, now a desolate wasteland consumed by eternal darkness, lay enslaved to the malevolent power unleashed by the heart of Nocturne. And so, the vampires, once tormented by their curse, embraced their newfound reality as the age of Count Dracula descended upon the world, a reign of darkness and despair that would endure for eternity. The heart of Nocturne, now a relic of unspeakable malevolence, pulsed with an eerie glow, its secrets forever hidden within the eternal shadows that enshrouded the land. The tale of the vampire resistance, a fleeting glimmer of hope, faded into obscurity, swallowed by the all-encompassing darkness that had become the twisted legacy of Castle Dracula.